Welcome to the Master Dealer Program Training Series. In this training, we will review the process from the merchant point of view to conduct appointments and close sales. Whenever a new lead is created within your territory, the information for this lead is registered into the platform provided by the program. Upon reception of the available orders, the general contractor assigns the order to themselves or someone in their crew and review the order. At this point, the sales rep should schedule the demo with the consumer. Upon scheduling, the information is updated within the provided platform. 24 hours before the appointment, the system sends reminders to the sales rep and the consumer. On the day of the appointment, the sales representative is expected to arrive on time and begin the sale appointment with the consumer. To do this, it is important to verify if all parties are available. That is, all people involved in the decision to approve any change to the house. If the responsible is not present, the appointment should be rescheduled. If they are, then the sales rep should carry out with their appointment. While presenting the design, the sales representative should use the provided Tools tool to display the product alternatives to the consumer. Here, additional products can also be added from the American Standard Catalog. With all the details received from the consumer, the sales representative should generate the contracts and provide them to the consumer to sign. Then the sales representative should navigate to the finance section, and the consumer should be presented with the total cost, payment options, and financing options. If the consumer accepts the financing details, the sales representative should update the system, which in turn updates the information, and the order is updated to sale. Scheduling is a crucial phase where you take ownership of the appointment in the Master Dealer Program. This step is where you need to actively contact consumers from your available leads and schedule the sales appointment, ensuring a smooth process for both you and the consumer. Start by ensuring your own availability. Check your calendar and understand what dates and times are available to provide consumers with options for the appointment. The MDP system accesses your calendar directly to show consumers when you are available. Consider travel time, administrative buffers, and other times that may be required between appointments if you intend to schedule more than one in a single day. This ensures you can meet the absolute standard of punctuality that is required of a professional sales rep. Then, send out the sales appointment form directly to any consumer you wish to schedule. Once the consumer receives the form, they take control of the experience. They complete the necessary information fields and, most importantly, they select the date and time for their sales appointment based on real-time availability. When the lead hits Submit, the MDP backend receives the form and automatically generates a work order based on the specific details the consumer provided. There's no manual entry required. The data flows directly into the project file. The general contractor who initiated the contact is automatically assigned to the consumer's sales order, ensuring proper tracking and credit from start to finish. In short, this step is about taking the assigned lead, confidently scheduling the demo based on your managed availability, and accurately documenting that schedule in the platform to trigger the essential reminder system. Let's review the steps before the appointment. The first step is to review the lead. Before you leave for your appointment, take a moment to carefully review the consumer's information. Then prepare your tools. Charge your device. Double-check that your product samples are clean and organized. Study it to be able to provide alternatives during the sales pitch. This will also allow you to find upsell opportunities. By achieving this level of preparedness, you eliminate distractions, knowing the technical demands of the presentation are already handled. Alright, you're on time, you've knocked on the door, and you've been invited in. This is where the training system comes alive. First things first, you've got to protect your time. Before you start your sales appointment, you need to confirm that the decision makers are at home. If they are not, reschedule the appointment. Once you have verified that the decision makers are at home, don't jump straight into the sale, but spend a minute or two getting to know your audience, personalizing the experience, then transition into the sales appointment itself. This helps build rapport and uncover useful information that can be used during the presentation. Now you transition to the technical, showing them the solution. Begin with the site inspection to get a proper idea of the scope of the project. Then transition into the demo. Use the materials provided for visual and tangible support to the project. Capture the bathroom dimensions and details. Display American Standard product alternatives to the consumer. At this point, if the consumer shows interest, you should be able to move on to the financing and documentation section. Once the sale is complete and if the consumer agrees to the total cost and wants to move forward, the sales rep will need to have the consumer sign their sales paperwork. The sales paperwork needs to be added to the work order as soon as possible. Then proceed to inquire the consumer about payment or finance options and proceeds to collect funds as per the sales paperwork. The financing options are covered by a dedicated training. The system will notify the sales rep and the consumer when the fund collection is successful. Upon presenting the pricing and financing options, it is time to move on to the contract signing process. The specification sheet contains the detailed list of all products that will be used in the remodeling process project. Ensure that all materials are correctly registered before presenting the document to the consumer for signing. The legal contract consists of all terms and conditions for the remodeling process. Allow the consumer the time to read the contract in detail and answer any question they may have while reviewing the document. Ensure that all mandatory fields of the contract and specification sheets are completed and signed. The physical act of signing and receiving the contract officially solidifies the sale. Once the documents are signed, review them, go over the specification sheet and the contract with the consumer one final time. Confirm the colors, fixtures, and exact options they selected. This makes them affirm their decisions again. Confirm the payment method and ensure any required deposit or financing paperwork is complete. And finally, set the expectations by explaining how the process continues. Someone from the general contractor's crew will be reaching out to the consumer as soon as the product is delivered to set up the install appointment. Thank you for watching and listening to this training. If you need additional details, please do not hesitate to review the additional documents provided or contact our specialists.